Hello, everybody. It's me, Rebel Trader with Take the Initiative. We've got Top Cut. I'm going to get the word out about the stream. This is round 3 of our little round robin thing. So both these players have played 2 matches. Uncle Rico yet to win one. MiniCaptn split them, so he's 1-1. There's very little hope for Uncle Rico to make the finals, because at the end of this, we're going to do a little finals with the top 2 players. But it's very possible that we end up with either 3 players at 2-1 and 1 at 0-3, or 1 player at 3-0, 3 players at 1-2. So this is our bracket. On I think Tuesday morning we settled on it. Gerald and Wayun are gonna play, and if Gerald wins, then he is gonna be 3-0. Wayun's gonna be 1-2, and thus if Uncle Rico wins this one, then Gerald's 3-0. 3 people are 1-2. But if MiniCaptn wins and Wayun wins, and we have 3 players at 2-1. So we'll see how it goes. Let's take a look at a list quickly. This is MiniCaptn's Quinlan list. It's running some new stuff, a lot of the old stuff, but he's got Adigalias in there, Dapabalaba, and the new Quinlan unit, and Constructed Lightsaber also, which has done him some good. On the other side, we've got Uncle Rico running Han2 Blue. His version is without the Ogdo-Bogdos, which Wayun, our other Han player, is running. Other than that, he's got looks to be a pretty typical Han Blue list with Force Throw and all the other good stuff. All right, I'm gonna go and give them the go ahead. All right, Uncle Rico starting with the initiative, or no, looks like he started with it but passed, and then Sabine coming out for MiniCaptn. We saw MiniCaptn beat Wayun the other day, who was also on this Han Blue list, and he often would pass out of round 1. Yadel coming down for Uncle Rico, which is interesting. He's just gonna get waylaid right away. If I were Rico, I probably would have gone for the Gorilla Soldier there, but there are good reasons to get that Yadel off the board. Number 1 of which is the restore. Number 2, which is the potential that it gets a Force token, and the Gorilla Soldier doesn't necessarily get rid of it, at least right away. All right, and it looks like MiniCaptn going to play some defense here, trading the Sabine and the Target tab, paying into that Ezra, just keeping Uncle Rico off of Force. One second. I'm gonna have to step away for a bit. All right, I'm back. Looks like I didn't miss much. Rico dropping down the chariot. And then the Gorilla Soldier, all of it going to base. And the soldier gets readied. MiniCaptn is going to burn that Daring Raid just to put 2 in and then throw the soldier in for 2 more. This setup is looking pretty good for Uncle Rico. MiniCaptn's been throwing a lot of cards into trying to play defense and has not gotten much onto the base. Partially just because MiniCaptn's hands have been so awkward. He hasn't gotten the tools that he needs. But Uncle Rico's now in the position to start turning the corner on this board. And he finally gets his force token up. Quinlan deploys. The upside of what MiniCaptn did do last round is that even with the force token, Quinlan or Chart cannot survive a hit from either Quinlan or from this plow. And it's just going to be the plow. Oh, the plow actually gets to auto kill the turret from the Quinlan ping. And then puts the ambush into the Han. Forces Rico to use that Han or lose it. And because of Quinlan, he's going to lose it. MiniCaptn's playing this one well. And though Rico is going to get to remove this Quinlan, just do that instead of dropping Quinlan, which is I'm honestly not sure about. But Captain's got like a, I mean, I said at the start of that round, I thought it was going to turn the corner for Rico, but it doesn't look like it has. In fact, it looks like MiniCaptn has turned things around for himself. He can either eat this Yaddle or just go to base. I think there's a good case for either course of action. Gonna go for Ahsoka. To exhaust the Yaddle. Frees up the plow for other missions. Now he's got also an Adi Gallia in hand, so he can set up that coordinate onto the plow. And there's not really anything that Rico can do about it. He's just going to drop a Poe. There's Adi Gallia. There's got to be a Clone Wars episode where this team up happened of Adi Gallia, Plo, and Ahsoka. All right, Captain picks up a Cassian, is going to resource to 7. I believe we saw a Hotshot Blaster in there also. So he's got lots of things to do outside of just this hand. All right, Quinlan finally coming down for Uncle Rico. Picks up a Luke. That's pretty big news. If Captain wants to, he can drop an L3 and snipe the Yaddle. Yep, he does exactly that. I gotta remember the shield. Yep, they got it. Force throw. Only going to be 3 from that lightsaber. Oop. Force throw put into the resource row by that hotshot. I'm honestly a bit surprised at this move here for MiniCaptn. I would have expected the Cassian. But the control strategy is played pretty well for MiniCaptn so far. Oh, it looks like they missed the Adegulia ping from the force throw. Is that a mandatory? Yeah, this is it's a mandatory. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people forget that ability. It doesn't. I mean, it's 1 damage, but sometimes 1 damage makes a difference. All right, here's Luke, and this is where MiniCaptn's strategy might prove to be flawed, because that Luke is gonna be hard to deal with. Not impossible, but pretty hard. Force throw, and they got the Addy ping. That's going to take out Surprise Strike. Surprise Strike would have been an out to that Luke. Now, if MiniCaptn has a second blaster, he can get there. Looks like he doesn't. He's going to crash. Into Luke. So now the Gorilla Soldier can take out the Luke next turn, but it is going to get at least 1 swing off. This is just a grind fest. And I think Uncle Rico is going to be favored as if this thing drags out. Because he's got units like Luke that he can keep playing. And KID to draw more cards. MiniCaptn certainly not out of it. Plays the key. Draws up. And now we're going to see that Cassian out of the row, it looks like. Yup. Uncle Rico has the 3rd force throw in hand. Itinerant Warrior going to come down. Can't heal because he doesn't have the force. And then the Cassian's just going to walk in. MiniCaptn looks like was expecting the force throw. And now MiniCaptn's drawing into his force throws a bit after his force units have all died. But he does pick up Quinlan here, which can set those force throws back up. Let's pull up Quinlan. Cassie gonna go in, finish off the itinerant. But the Luke comes in and knocks out that Quinlan before the force throws can go off. Looks like Rico fires off his own third force throw. Clear the Cassian. And now things are looking pretty favorable for Rico. Like MiniCaptn he can waylay the Luke, but then Luke's gonna come down and kill another thing of his. And this key is threatening lethal on his own. It'll gonna come down. Rico's just styling here. And drops the Luke. Clear the L3. And I think Captain's just gonna call it. Alright, Uncle Rico takes one down. Let's take a look at sideboards before we go into game 2. Rico got a few more things that could definitely be helpful in this matchup. Pillage, Conquer Dawn Interceptors. I don't think the rest of that stuff is going to matter a ton. Chams, Bombing Runs, or Grey Dragon. But on the other side, MiniCaptn he's also got Pillages. I don't think he brought them in when he played against Wayun. It looks like he's taking out here Depa Balaba and one of the Han Solos and putting in 2 more things. I'm not sure what exactly is coming in. Maybe Bamboozles. Maybe Force Illusions. We'll see. All right. Game 2. It all comes down to this. That's a weird hand for Captain here. It looks like he's gonna keep it though. I mean, he's got, technically a nice curve. You'd rather have a 3 than another 2 probably. But playing 2 A-Wings back to back, not the worst play. Especially into this Han matchup, which can struggle with space. All right, Grogu comes down with the Han ability. A-Wing can't ping it, remember, because it's technically 3. Let's pull up the Grogu. For those of you that aren't familiar yet. All right, Itinerant coming down. Red 5 is gonna ping the Grogu here. All right, Grogu finishes off the A-Wing. Now let's see. So Captain has a really interesting play of going like Quinlan into. Okay, he decided to be a bit safe and get the Red 5 attack in, but he could have been greedy and gone like Quinlan, ping the shield off the itinerant, and then red 5 to finish it off. But he did risk getting like force thrown or some way of outing the red 5. Takedown, we know Rico's on that. Instead, it's going to be Kiadi Mundi. All right, and we're going into 5 resources. That's the mutual flip turn. MiniCaptn has Plow in hand with Coordinate locked and loaded. Is he going to use it to blow Grogu out of the sky? Or off the ground, I should say. Perhaps not greedy enough there. If he had gone for the Quinlan flip turn, he could have also sniped the itinerant. But I think there was no way to stop the itinerant from getting a hit in, and stopping as many things as he can early. There's an advantage in that because this red 5 now is going to be able to take out the itinerant. So excellent play overall from MiniCaptn, keeping the board clear. And also doing a much better job this game than last of getting a aggressive damage presence in. Force throw is going to be burned on that red 5, but that's not the worst thing. Like burning a copy of force throw as well as a card out of hand just to deal with that red 5. Quite possibly worth it. All right, turret does come down with the force present, which is going to be difficult for MiniCaptn to get through, but not impossible. Looking at his hand, surprise strike Plo gets there, right? 9 minus 2 is 7. Quinlan is gonna get it from the Han, which does turn off the coordinate. Turret is just one of those difficult cards to get around. All right, here comes an Ahsoka. That's gonna discard one of the 3 copies of Luke in UncleRico's hand, which is going to exhaust the turret and ping the itinerant. Yep. Luke does come in though and immediately clears that Plo. All right, surprise strike Quinlan. Going into base here, or going into the turret. Turret ability is going to be used, so he only takes 4. Looks like target 10 used on the remainder of the turret. All right. This looks like a fairly strong board for Rico, but MiniCaptn does have the Han in hand, which is going to be able to snipe that Luke. So things are not looking great, even though that that Luke ping is going to be big. The second Luke is going to be a real pain to deal with. All right, Anakin comes in, pings the Quinlan. That doesn't actually kill the Quinlan because there's only hero cards. All right, here comes Han, going to eat the Luke, ping the Anakin. And because that Anakin came down, Rico couldn't drop the second Luke right away to clear the Han. So he's going to get 5 in. But then he's going to be eaten. And Rico can drop the second Luke. But Captain's got outs. It looks like it's going to be... He's going to Han in the key ID? What's he looking for here? All right, Captain, very careful here to trade with those units. Captain needs to start turning the corner here and pushing damage. He's got some things in hand that let him do that. All right, Poe coming down. That's a threat. Constructed lightsaber onto the Quinlan. I gotta remind myself of... So that gives Quinlan restore. Surprise strike gonna be burned so that they trade. Or actually, no, the Quinlan survives, doesn't he? Yeah, with 1 health left. And gets that restore in. All right, here comes the Luke. And that clears the Quinlan. And I think Captain's only way to deal with it is going to be waylay. Yeah, so he's just going to go and use that. Make sure you get the Quinlan back to base. Yep. Han gets a hit in. And Red 5 going to be deployed here. Daring Raid, that's actually a pretty big pickup, I think. Because it allows potentially the Han to be made more vulnerable. Alright, Han is going to die there to the Fel the Dragon. Creating a vulnerability. Here's Mace Windu. And Captain might be forced to claim here. And he does. Can he get an out? Doesn't look like it. And you can go for the Ahsoka, but Rico has the event to stop it. Yep. All right. And that's a 2-0 win for Uncle Rico. His first of the tournament. Well played by both players. MiniCaptn certainly put up a fight, but just wasn't able to get enough early pressure going. So, let's take a look at the bracket here. We've got on Tuesday morning at I think 8 a.m. Pacific. We're going to have Gerald and Wei Yun facing off. And that is effectively going to be the de facto finals. Well, actually, maybe not. So if Wei-Yun wins, then Wei-Yun and Gerald are both 2-1. Captain and Rico are both 1-2, which means the finals is going to be between them. It's going to be a rematch. If Gerald wins, then he's 3-0. Everybody else is 1-3, and then I think we'd go to game wins for who would make the finals. So let's count that up. It looks like right now Rico. I think it would be Rico. Yeah, so if Wei-Yun wins, the finals is Gerald and Wei-Yun. If Gerald wins, the finals is Rico and Gerald. Right? Yeah. Just going off game wins. All right. Thank you all for tuning in.